See it? Right there. 2013 F-150 with a 3.5 turbo. Got a coolant leak at the return line fitting right here. So I'm going to replace this fitting and the line and the fitting on the block. Okay? So that's where we're at right now. I'm working on the driver's side coolant return line. So you want to remove your driver's side tire. And then you want to remove the inner fender skirt. Okay? The inner fender skirt uses a couple clips and 4 screws. They're 5.5 millimeter. One of them goes over here and here, and there and there and there. And then you got a wire harness that connects to it. And then you want to zip this other big wire harness up out of the way. And then you want to get in here and you want to go to the air intake line tubes off the turbo. There's 2 clamps. I don't know if you can see them, but there's one here and then there's one there. I'm going to take those 2 clamps off. You see it? Right there. One here and one there. Loosen those up. Then we want to take that air and that tube off of there. So then next you want to do is lower it down, because we want to get to that line that's on behind those and go to the side of the block. If you haven't already, remove the felt under panel, 410s, and the aluminum splash guard. Underneath that's got 4 13 millimeter head bolts. Take those 2 out if you haven't done that already. Next, you want to unplug your mass airflow sensor. Loosen this clamp up. Loosen this clamp up. Loosen this clamp up. Undo your air filter clips. Remove your upper housing for the air filter. And take this hose off. You push those little clips in to remove this piece looking like that, and then you pull it off. See how it looks? Pushes in, squeeze them together, and push that out. And then you can remove this section here. And this is the pipe that we went out of there. And well, it's this one. And I believe it might be that one too. This is the upper hose from the turbo. You want to undo this clamp right here. That one, see it? Got a little teeth on it. You just stick your screwdriver in between there, behind them, between the teeth, and right here. And you open it up and get it off of this pipe. Pull the pipe off the turbo down there, and get it out of this little grommet. Pull it up, get it kind of loose. All right, that's out of the way. Now we gotta get that bottom one down there, right here. It's only got like about an inch of tube, and it's all plastic. And it goes in down here too, just like that one. So you wanna spray some lube down there to get on that. And it's got another hard plastic pipe down below it with a funky clamp on it. We gotta get to it. See it right there? I think you gotta twist it. This one right here, you just turn it till it stops. You turn it clockwise and then you push it off. Okay? I put some lube on that one piece down below. I'm gonna work it, pull it. Now this one, you can take this one all the way out. That's the main one that's in your way down below. Forgot to remind you to remove this off of here and off the valve cover. It's a little hard to come off because it gets stuck on this little thing here of carbon. And that one you gotta move the little lever over and then pull them up. Okay? Remember? These things, push them. You're stuck like that, and you go like that, and you pull them off. Same thing with the valve cover, and you pull it off. It has the same thing, it gets stuck on the edge. So make sure you pull this off, the valve cover, and this tube before you pull this out, otherwise it's gonna get kind of bound up and possibly crack. Just a reminder, in case you gotta do valve covers, gaskets, this would be a good time to do it, because that pipe we just took out goes onto this bracket, it goes on the alternator, and you have to remove those tubes to get this bracket off so you can get the valve cover off of this side, which is the driver's side. Okay, see, there it is. Got a little bracket on it. See the bracket on the left side of it? That bracket goes over here to that Torx. And that Torx holds on another bracket, which holds on to the oil supply line. So make sure you put that back in. But anyway, so we remove that Torx, and then we can play with the hose, metal line. Before you go any farther, put some duct tape over your turbo inlets, inlet and outlet. Okay? And just to help protect you from anything falling down inside there. And then you want to get a T45 Torx on a long extension with a swivel, and then get on that bolt and take it out. And it's just in there, it comes out real easy. And it is it is metal. So you can put a magnet in there and grab it so you don't lose it. It's not stainless steel. Get yourself a long pick with an angle on it. And what you're gonna do is try to find this clip that's inside there. And you wanna find the end of it. Right here, this end. And you wanna push this end up out of there so you can grab it with another pick or a screwdriver and pull it out of there. You know how my clip is? I pulled it out of there. Now I'm just gonna give me a long skinny screwdriver and pry the rest of the way up. If you lose it, just keep an eye on where it went, but you got your turbo inlets and outlets covered so it won't go inside there. My clip came with my screwdriver. How nice is that? Now go underneath and remove the E-clip from this hose line also. Alright, try to keep an eye on where the clip goes. I lost mine, came out pretty easy. Now all I do is pry my line off of my fittings, and that's when all my antifreeze is going to start coming out. Okay, I pried this end out of the turbo first, and let the coolant drain to stop draining, and I just pulled this one out. This one came right out easily. This one I had to pry out, and you would hope and thought there'd be a flex line in there, but there isn't. So hopefully when I go together, I won't bend this tube too much to put this back into the turbo. Usually you're supposed to have the turbo off and then push it up onto it, have everything ready to go. But that's not the case. So now I'm going to replace my fittings that go into the block and then on the turbo. Okay, the one on the turbo is a 19. Break it loose with a wrench. You can get 3/8 up there with a shallow socket and thread it out the rest of the way. And then on the one that's on the block, it's a 21. It was in there pretty tight, scary tight, but it snapped and came loose. So I'm going to put the new ones in. I don't know if it looks like it's got any Loctite on it. It does have that discoloration to it. So add a little bit of Loctite on the new ones with the threads, just a little bit. I got the one on the block started with a 13/16 swivel on an extension, and it's a real tight fit, but I got it in there. And I got it started, and then I torqued it down. And I tightened it up really good with a 1/2" ratchet, and it gave me a good flex, so I didn't snap it off. I'm confident with it that it's tight. Now I'll work on the one that's on the turbo. I got started with my fingertips. Make sure you get started with your fingertips. And then I put my air ratchet on it, and I snugged it up. And then I put my wrench on it and tried tightening it, and it was good. And we'll lower it down, and we'll start the line on the inside on the block, but do not tighten or start the bolt. We want it to be able to move around freely. Well, that's quite a bend it made to get it off. See, that's straight. That's pretty good bend. I don't want to be bending it. No. Okay, on the new one, I bent it right here to bring this down just a little bit. And then I bent it right here to bring this in just a little bit. Okay? And then I stuck this in, up in there. And I pushed it all the way in, and I got this end in the hole. Then I went back up here, finished pushing it all the way in, and put my bolt on. I ran it down with my fingers all the way down I could get it. And then I came over to this, and it looked like it was lined up pretty good, so I put my pry bar against right here and pushed it in, and I clipped right in. And now I'm going to go back over here, and I'll tap out a little bit with a screwdriver and a hammer, and then I'll tighten up my bolt. And don't forget to put some Sil Glide on these tubes, because it's going to go through them O-rings. Okay, what you want to do is you want to take off your tape off your turbos, and you want to put that lower tube on there with the bigger one. And remember the one clamp, the hose that goes on there, and you push it in, you turn it, or you turn that one counterclockwise. Put your big tube down in here. Make sure you put some lube on your lower grommet. Put some lube in that grommet. Push that hose down on it. Pull this hose up into the fitting and turn it counterclockwise. And then go down below and get it started on your turbo. And put your breather tube back on. And then you work on the top one. And you want to put it back inside this clamp and get it inside of this grommet. Put some lube on there. Push it down on your turbo down below. Go down below and tighten up your 2 hose clamps. And come back up here. Put this back on your air intake tube for your air cleaner. Yep. And don't forget about your Y pipe. Okay, goes on there like that.